What does a DM look like to Shaq? Or somebody that like you've gotten, I mean, you've had some of the biggest collaborations with creators as well as mainstream celebrities.
Mhm.
Like, how do you get them to come on your channel?
It's different every time. I feel like with every single big celebrity that we've ended up getting in touch with, there's been something really different that's happened. Sometimes it's within my personal team, and there's this one guy, Zach, who I call my right hand man, who's just hustling all the time on different things, and works with me a lot on content. And he's constantly sending out feelers to different people. And then I would say the big thing that we discovered with reaching out to people, no matter who you're trying to work with, is that you have to come to them with a pitch that's going to help them.
Mm.
And I felt like most people who reach out for a collaboration with someone, they just say, hey, can you join me on this thing? Or, hey, can you do this with me? And we try to reach out more proactively in terms of, hey, we saw you just launch this product, or hey, we saw you just did this thing. We'd love to highlight it in this way, and we already have these 3 ideas. And that has a very great success rate, I will say. I think if you come with a really clear pitch right out of the gate, and you can show why it's going to be great for both of you, not just maybe one person, that's how we've had success with it.
Dude, that is such a good point. I found the same thing with like getting big guests on our show.
Yeah.
It's like, do they have something coming up that we could help them promote? And a lot of times it's before it hits like the public. So it's like having those conversations. Sure. Like I know, like I was chatting with Peter, your brother, about like your second channel, which I'm stoked to talk about. But like timing that outreach is huge.
Yeah.
Anything else, Nick, in that initial outreach that, especially when you were smaller, because numbers speak volumes, you know, getting people on your channel. When you were smaller, that you got somebody come on your channel, it's like, whoa, that was a big get. We're punching above our weight class. And what did you do?
Well, early on, I realized that everybody loves food and everybody has a different relationship with food. And I think one thing that made it easier for me early on is that because there's already that natural connection where it's like, oh, you eat every day, I also eat food every day, right? It sounds so silly, but everybody eats food every day. And I think because of that, it's an easier thing to reach out about and talk about, as opposed to maybe if I was in the sports world and trying to say something about baseball, right? Yeah. It's just not necessarily quite as relatable. And so that was the early thing, was really trying to just kind of connect to people through a love for food and see if they also shared that same love in some different way. If they didn't, it was a lot more difficult early on when we were a lot smaller, and when I was a lot smaller of a creator. But it's obviously just become